Sanibonani, Dumelang, Molweni Mzansi Africa, and welcome to your #1 youth current affairs show, Expressions, right here on SABC 1 and SABC Lihaye. Elimbukeli liqonga lakho njengomntu omtsha into yokuba uzityande igila. This is Expressions, to express yourself. Tumleke ukhulisa lubisi unokanyezi, the brightest star in the galaxy. I'm not rolling solo. Tinaye Azaria Molo Azaria.
Njani madlongothi?
Inkosi njani?
Hayi ngiyaphila. Ngibingelele nawe mbukeli lapha ekhaya. Selifikile elingaliyo. It's exactly 5 p.m. and we are coming to you directly from our Auckland Park studios. Kwayindonga ziyaduma eGoli. Teenage pregnancy is the forecast this week. Mbukeli uthi ubuwazi ukuthi approximately 150,000 children fell pregnant between unyaka ka 2022 and 2023. This is according to the recent statistics by the Department of Health, which means mbukeli siyanda isibalo sezingane ezikhulelwa zisencane. Kanti ke isifundazwe esihamba phambili kule nkiyankiya mbukeli isifundazwe sase-Gauteng, with the Ekurhuleni region being marked as the hotspot. Kholoso angeke ukholwe, you won't believe this, but just last week a grade 10 learner gave birth emagcekeni esikole.
Sure.
Yeah, this mbukeli happened at Mulawuti Secondary School in Blood River, just outside Bulukwane. Ayike mbukeli siyithimba le-Expressions, we are trying to find out ukuthi ingabe kudalwa yini lokhu. Expressions producer Tsokofatso Mokgoleho filed this report for us.
Most teenage girls don't plan to get pregnant. In recent times, South Africa has seen an increase in teenage pregnancies. Often, teens don't get prenatal care soon enough, which can lead to problems later on. With staggering numbers of teen pregnancies in South Africa, whose baby is it to curb this growing underbelly, and is the government doing enough to assist those who find themselves in danger lane? For Expressions on SABC 1, I'm Tsokofatso Mokgoleho.
Sibonge kakhulu kumdidiyeli wethu Tsokofatso Mokgoleho for that insightful package. But ke mbukeli nje buwazi lapha ekhaya, I can't do this show alone. I have Osis Musa Mbere right now, who's a social activist, and you work with a lot of young people, so you're going to be helping me to dissect this topic namhlanje. Ngibingelele ngwamukele Expressions.
Ngiyakubingelela nami nabalaleli ekhaya babukele ekhaya. Ngiyalibonga ithuba. It's beautiful for me to be here. I'm sure we're going to get to a bottom of this and really care.
Let's find solutions. Yes. So
definitely.
You work a lot with the young people on the ground. You know, you get to have that one-on-one experience now. Ngicela mhlambe usibeke isithombe ukuthi how dire is the situation out there?
It's extremely bad. We have now got to a point where people are thinking the best form of fun has been limited or reduced to alcohol, drugs, and just being out there with no focus on anything else. And this is actually brought by the status quo of our country, that you don't find entertainment that will make sure that there's a way that we can make that interest them, that they can do with their time. So there is nothing that they can do, and what is close to them and what is reachable to them becomes that. Also, without taking away the reality of what poverty does. We cannot turn a blind eye to that. Because what makes a young person wants to be active if they've got everything at home, if they've got a parent that is there. One problem we are faced with, these children are raised by mothers who are children themselves, who don't have a background of someone. Our family setups are not proper, where there is a mother and a father. And you find that the very same child has got a mother who by herself is a single parent who also wants to go and have fun, and no one is looking after these ones. Every child has a gadget. What do they do with them? Because they get exposed. So the premature exposure, as well as poverty and the status quo of our country, place us in this situation. So we're trying to deal with an aftermath without checking what the source is.
I think you got because I was also just going to ask you about some of the social ills that contribute towards a teenage pregnancy, because we know that unemployment, it contributes to all of this, right?
Moral degeneration needs to be kept by moral regeneration. You cannot deal with moral when you don't have a person who is an adult that goes there. Where do you go? When we grew up, I'm not that old, but we come to a family when we have done something wrong. Umama was next door, uzokuza, and come to your family, and you won't even be proud to tell them what is happening. But now we have made to turn away from everything else. As long as it's not my child, then I look away because we are not a collective. Children needs to be raised by the community.
I want us to make, you know, a generation comparison between ngenkathi kukhula abantu ngo 1980s namanje, you know. Do you think ukuthi abazali bethu right now they are losing a grip on their children?
Firstly, they're not available. Let alone losing a grip. You need to be there first to lose a grip, which is even a step closer. So they're not present because they're also dealing with their issues. If you stay in a forum house, still in Soweto this time, you are 50 years, you're staying in your mother's house, where you are contesting, waiting to see if she passes away, you're going to have a home. When are you going to get time to parent? At that time, you don't even have a salary to take care of your own needs. You've got your own needs. And you're also coming from a broken family where there is no one who will tell you that as a father, this is how you handle yourself. As a girl, this is how you handle yourself. We even faced with GPV because of the absenteeism of the proper family structures, which has got no intervention when it comes to what the system gives us right now. So when you're looking at the problem right now, which is of course what we are talking about today on the show, which is teenage pregnancy, I also want us to do a comparison between iy'kole ezisemakhaya ney'kole esizithola lapha emadolobheni right now. Do you find that the situation is much more prevalent in our cities because mhlambe emakhaya they still practice culture, ukuhlolwa kwey'ntombi and all of those things? You would expect ukuthi emakhaya would have less of a challenge when it comes to that. Emakhaya, you might find, as we are looking at it, yes, la we are exposed. Yes, la our children can quickly get to the clinic because they are closer in comparison with what is happening. But we are talking about children that we don't even see. Teenage pregnancy, we are only counting the children that they will carry. We're not counting the ones that are being aborted by the very same young girls. So if we are looking at it from that angle alone, we are not talking about, because the pregnancy, it doesn't mean the child that you're going to be having. But there's children as young as 15 years that have had 3 abortions because of the system that allows us to do that. Then that is teenage pregnancy. Because teenage pregnancy is not only the proof of a child. But at Emakaya, the clinics are very far for them to be doing this. They do backstreet abortions. And you would expect they will do that. Because in there, like, yes, it's there. They still have got whatever the case may be. But the situation goes across the board. And it's not better in any way. And if you can look at it in that way, you will find it spreads across. How many cases do reach us? Only those that get to us. Those that don't get to us are not counted in the statistics that we're dealing with. So it's still not a true reflection of what we are dealing with.
So, you know, on our opening link, we also mentioned Duguti Ekurhuleni right now in Gauteng is a hotspot where there are just a number of girls that are getting pregnant. What do you think contributes to making a region kube yinto nje yasendaweni ukuthi ingane zikhulelwe kakhulu kuleyo ndawo leyo?
Patterns, influence. What happens around? You will always, even us as adults, you can't come unless you are a very crazy person that you say, I will not do what everyone is doing. The peer pressure is not only about the children, it's about everyone else because you want to fit in. So if the majority of the people in that space that you find yourself in are doing that, you will be an odd one out. And it takes a lot for you to be an odd one out. So it tells us that we've got issues there of the things that have been normalized because we have tend to normalize isn't this wrong, and because we look away, it's like, it's okay, you can smoke, you can date, or you can... So all those things, everyone wants to go that route. So
okay, so I'm just going to speak about one day. New Year's Eve, 190,000 teenage girls gave birth. These are girls that were between the ages of 15 and 19. I also just want us to speak about the economic impact of teenage pregnancy, because I can understand that these kids, they're going to grow up, they're going to need medical attention. What does it mean for an everyday taxpayer for us to have such a huge number of kids as is all the time?
I'm going to sound controversial and a little selfish. and I'm going to ask, what economy are we talking about? Who is getting pregnant? Is the children that don't have that money? Is the children that are coming from families? So we are being very, I don't know, high class if we are dealing with economy. Economy is for the learned. Economy is for the ones that are have. It's not for the have-nots. The people that are caught in these ones are the have-nots. And what are their challenges? Yes, it affects the economy because we've got children who are now pregnant because of the money they're supposed to be getting, because of the children they've got, who they're going to live there as well, because it doesn't change. Whatever the amount of ISASA is not enough to do anything. If you calculate even the money that has been given, it won't buy you a loaf of bread for the whole 30 years.
Yeah.
So bringing economy to it, we're making it fancy.
Yeah.
We need to get to the core and the root of it. Who is getting pregnant is the needy. Who is getting pregnant is the one that doesn't have this economy. But yes, it does affect it. But unless we move from that level and come down to the reality, what is happening?
Yeah.
Our people, you will be so shocked that poverty is even rife in our very own Soweto. You think it's in the rural. There are people, there are children who sleep without food. They're still digging on those. What are we expecting to do? We need to deal with the real thing that needs the system to change. The system cannot be providing these children to say, hey, congratulations. What do you give virgins? You give them nothing. And then you give the ones that have got children money. What are you saying?
Wow. I can Bugeli, we're still continuing with this heated conversation right here on Expressions.
Mbugeli, welcome back. You are still watching Expressions right here on SABC 1 and SABC Lihaye. We are, of course, putting a spotlight on teenage pregnancy in South Africa. Make sure that you are part of the conversation on our social media pages. We want to hear your views, Mbugeli. But joining me right about now, we have Janine Paultine, who will share her personal story on becoming a teen mom. You know, this is a very complex topic. Thank you so much for joining us, Janine, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for having me. It's good to be here.
I mean, you were a teen mom, you know. Take us back, you know, on how all of that happened. I mean, the narrative of you becoming a teen mom, how did it happen? And
okay, very touchy subject, right? Let me go back to starting from family.
Yeah.
Right, I grew up as an orphan. It was a lot going on at home, having to take care of all these orphans. I mean, I'm talking about boys. And we take teenage pregnancy as if it's only from the maternal side, but it goes back to the paternal side too. We're always quick to point fingers to the maternal side of the pregnancy. I'm talking about 12, 14. Right now, let me refer to my cousin. Whereas I blame myself that I wasn't present because of past experiences and everything that I've had. My cousin is 14. His girlfriend is 12, pregnant. Whole new, brand new baby. So from my side, the family was more of, no, why didn't the girl go to the clinic and whatever? I feel personally as a parent that the moment I say, Kolosa, go to the clinic, go take contraceptives, that's me sending you to a man. We are scared to sit down with kids and tell them, Hore, once you sleep with a man, this is what happens. It's always about go. Whatever that you want, okay, that's not a way to address this. That's why there's this teenage pregnancy. It goes back to school. There was life skills and everything. You understand? We were taught these things, but our parents were never open about it at school. Even these days, things are easy. Education is easy. We have internet. We have everything where kids can learn all about these things. Experience was never good. You know, you go through the worst.
Yeah, and I mean, with what you're saying, you're just affirming Amazuka, social activist, on the table.
Yes.
You know, she spoke about the absence of Ama parents. Yes, our education system, I mean, we do have LO subjects, you know, that teach distinctively about, you know, sex. But Lendokbana ube aware as a young person to say, no, you're pregnant. I want you to share also, I mean, about your experience. I mean, now giving birth. I mean, did you receive support from family? How was the experience?
Experience was, what would I say? Not really the best. You understand? It's a matter of being tossed around by family, you know, from this family member to that family member until you decide that, okay, fine, I'm going to throw myself at every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You understand? So it was never the best. It wasn't the best.
Yeah, and speaking of Guti, it was not the best experience because I mean we see it being glamorized on social media. I mean, there's this even TikTok challenge. I mean, being a mom at 16. I mean, I'm here, I made it. I feel like they don't really explore the realities of being a teen mom. I mean, the stigma that you get from the community.
Yeah.
You know, and I really want us to touch that because we have young people ababukele abaqonda bayiwethu akhondo I can survive, you know, teenage pregnancy.
And it's not even about that. You can, but at the same time, you can't. It all goes back to your support system. If you don't have a strong support system, or you as an individual, not being that person that believes in yourself, that, okay, let's say they said it was a mistake. But I don't believe in a mistake, whereas there are clinics, there are condoms, we've got parents, we've got internet. As you're saying, we go back to, they call it, I'm a 2K.
Yeah.
You are a kid, but you're having a kid. You're chasing what? Grant. Is that grant enough? Because you can't even buy formula and diapers at the same time. You've got to choose one. Is your child going to drink rooibos and wear diapers at R250?
Sure.
You understand? So it goes back to, and you know that diaper, once the child pees in it and it's full,
family planning is lacking in that department.
Yes, it becomes jelly.
Yeah.
It goes back to us parents not spending time with our kids. I do a job where I'm 24/7 at work. I get one off day. It's not guaranteed. It goes back to people having 3-4-5 kids at home. I mean, we're talking girls.
There's also baby daddy issues.
And I mean, stepdads too.
Yeah.
Remember, so now it goes back to I'm at work the whole time. I'm missing out on important things. You understand?
Yeah.
So I come back home, my child is sleeping. Tomorrow the child goes to school. I am sleeping. 5 months later, the child is pregnant. What are we going to do? Do we have a solution? Goes back to what? Abortions. Illegal abortions, whatever. That's where all that also comes from. Okay, I'm going to go to Campton Park or West Street. They're like people, posters and everything. I'm going to go and try this. 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot on earth. You understand?
So it's a generation, it's basically a pattern. I mean, what you're doing is a wheel and a kumdana wako. And we cannot leave behind, you know, this tragic incident. Blood River. I mean, you are from the Free State and we're seeing staggering numbers of teenage pregnancy. A great and Lena umitile was dalela eskolweni. I mean, as also, I mean, you have experience of being a teen mom.
Yes. I feel like this also goes back to teachers being ignorant. Don't get me wrong. Let's keep an open mind. I mean, we see this. I mean, as a mother, you go back to this child, you sit down, you talk. Kids are scared to talk to their mother, to talk to their mothers. You understand? Because your mother is this harsh person because of the experience she went through. But now instead of teaching you, she is going to tell you, not this and not that. That's not how it works. So as a teacher, you also sit down with the kids. We talk to them. I can be a mother to you at school. That's how we say, okay, I'm sending you to school. You have parents there. When you come home, I'm your parent. It goes back to Ubuntu. As she mentioned that, the activist mentioned that, Ubuntu, your child is my child.
It takes a village to raise
a child.
So we need to go back to the basics. And you know, what I like about, you know, your whole experience of being a teen mom, you know, it's the end of the road for me. You picked yourself up. What are some of the lessons ozifundileyo ongathandi into yobana nombukelo khaya or to know I'm still a teen, you know, dihamba zonke izinto andoyiki. I mean, what are some of the lessons as with being a teen mom? When you look back, okay, I wish beningenzanga 1, 2, 3.
Other things goes back to groove. Hey, umonati outside, guys. Bona, it's nice outside, but that niceness never ends. You know? So you choose groove, you choose all these bad things, you associate yourself with bad friends, peer pressure. You understand? Just because you are this person, I always say that I kill people with my confidence. And I tell you, let's go to groove, come with your body. I come with my confidence.
Yes,
you understand? I'm going to kill you with that. So it goes back to that now, you know, with the Mercedes-Benz keys. That's where it also starts too, that, okay, you fall into that trap. So being a teenage mom, it's not the end of the world. Mistakes happen, but I'm telling all the teenage moms out there, don't look at your child and say you're a mistake. You knew exactly what you were doing. That condom is 98% what? Safe. There is that 2% possibility that, yes, people think you become pregnant because of sperm. No, that pre-cum gets you pregnant. Takes 2 to make a baby, takes 2 to tango. People get pissed, okay, there's a baby, you're going to get pissed for that short period, but at the end of the day, the product is there. you've got to raise it.
You gotta raise
You've
it.
gotta raise it
And
for
you gotta instill in values so that umntana angabi lento oye waba yiyo njengomzali. Janine, thank you so much, for opening up and sharing your story. We really hope that, teen moms nabo bazawuqonda into yobana, you know what, let me leave everything, focus emntwaneni. And teenagers nabo bangazibandakanyi kwi-teenage pregnancy. Right, Mbukeli, where expressions, we continue with the discussion. Azaria will be on the other side wrapping up with the social activist. For now, Mr. Kwe Venkeleni, don't move a muscle.
What a hot sizzling episode of Expressions khona la kunqa phambili SABC1 Mzansi for sure. Uma ngabe usandungena Mbukeli hlala phansi nethezeka. We are of course talking about teenage pregnancy, and Usis Musa Mbewe is still with me right now to help us wrap this issue. Siswami, we spoke a lot about amantombazane akhulelwa asemancane, but these girls don't impregnate themselves. Can we speak about the boys? Yimiphi mhlambe imizamo esingayenza to try and teach boys to be responsible as well?
Boys need to learn from someone that is ahead of them, who we lack. But we don't really lack. They're just not in our homes. Kuna bobaba lapha ema-hostel, where we can use them because they know how culture is, to let them have the confidence of understanding kuyini ukuba indoda. Boys have got this thing of saying, we don't care what's going to happen. We're going to end up there. I mean, if my child decides to go to uzokusukela, you'll end up in jail. So they don't have anything that makes them look at that. We need to have measures that are disciplinary, that are not going to send children straight to jail for wrong things that they are doing as minor, because they don't care. They think it's going to happen anyway. These boys, we are comfortable right now as a single mother. Say, as long as I've got money, I can take care of my children. There's no way you will take care of a boy child being a woman. I don't care how well you know it or how your father raised you. You need a person who is going to be like-minded, that will teach them from their experiences of what that they have. But to also tell them, when they make these mistakes, you come back to them and say, you are still a leader, Wena. You are still a man, Wena. We're still expecting something good. You cannot do this. All these things that you are dealing with from your gender base and all those things, they need someone that is going to instill the values, that is going to say there is something that is worth it. Nobody wants to be known for their bad. Even isigebengu samampela ufuna ukubukeka as umuntu omuhle. So what do we do? Put the beautiful things. Tell them that you are still capable. We still want to find families here, because if we're not going to do that, they're going to be shifting away from all those wrong things. But who's there to tell them what not to do? We need to go back. This is where there is mentorship, where there is people that is going to instill those things, and pride and confidence. You are ahead. We must not shift from those things. So you see the balance of the raising up. That's why I'll keep taking it back to the system and taking it back to families and taking it back to where we come from, where if there was no father in your home, but there was a father next door who would take care of that role. But because you make your business yours, Sisho proudly. If you're a human being, if so let's take it back and make sure we
So the moral of the story is for us to find solutions as Buyele Masiswini. Yeah. Okay, I also wanted to speak about some of the programs. On the other side, they spoke about contraceptives. They spoke about isn't that girls can do in order for them not to fall pregnant. There are many programs that are out there. The Department of Health is also offering them. The social development is also trying izinto zabo now to also try and mitigate this problem. But at the end of the day, whose baby is it? The irony, whose baby is it? Inkinga is it the Department of Health that's not doing enough? Is it the parents? Is it the social development as well?
My question would be, these solutions that are coming and have been given to us, where were they tested? You can't go and sit in some boardroom where your children are the haves and you want to address ours as the have-nots. Involve the community. Ask from us what is it that we know will work for our children. Because we've got things that are there, but they're not meeting us here, and they're supposed to be a solution. That becomes the waste of resources. Take the power back to the people in the communities and let them be active, and so that they can know how do we deal with our tailor-made problems. So the money should not be planted there. They're not even affected, but also they don't even care. There's no monitoring of anything. Who wants to use a condom? Let's talk controversial as it is. Who wants to do that? No. Instill morals.
Yeah, okay. So I know that, 1 in 4 girls, they fall pregnant before turning the age of 20. Ngifuna mhlawumbe ukhulube nomntasekhaya omncane obukele lolu hlelo njengamanje ona 15 ona 16 okhulelwe ongazi ukuthi fanele enze njani. Words of encouragement siswami ongathini kuwe?
Nana, you've got it. Being a child, having a child is not going to add any value to you. And I want you to know that you can still keep it as hard as it is. There are people who cares, and at the right time, there will be people like myself. I'm committing myself to be there as the mother for those who are absent. Don't join those who are telling you that this is the best way of having it. And we believe in you. We believe in a woman that is going to be super with their future as it goes by. So we believe in everything and your future. Please don't lose it if you've got it. I lost it before time. Maybe you will do better than me. And that's what we as parents will expect to have and see from you.
Now that we know better, we shall do better. I mean, what an interesting conversation. We really hope, Mbukeli Abekaya, we have really provided insightful conversation. Whatever you decide, you think about the future. Asmashibodo Azaria.
Yeah, we have our amazing artist standing by on the other side.
Biscuits with a song titled Let Them Know.
Dalang kudla, dalang khubuluza. More than a decade in this game, marang sachuluga. They tryna wear me down, they heavy waiting sakupuga. I'm up early, ngating yakipitang sazonvusa. We need love and healing in this game, it's tingumusa. Stressang ama renting upum swank, I think it's tingupuza. Blowing money in the club just to flex, it's tingukuzwa. What's your purpose in life? Do you dream? I think it's tingubuzwa. Yeah, you know your past don't define you. Just kneel and pray, believe to the one who designed you. Keep an eye on the peeps you keeping all around you. Be careful of the temptations that may arouse you. Aslelumona, they don't wanna see you shine. Nigga working hard like a security. Lalem sebenzina casualty. You're feeling pina for the bag. No manina, fana fana things I mean I deserve no my yeah. Zek pumilanga masing shisa ganje. Yeah, I preach the word. Keep a matimone bandle. No, I'll never fall. I'm like Leanna Manners, always been the talk of the news. Yeah, show me your friends, let me point your future. I cut ties like a ribbon, still building my name. Scrabble, I run in my lane, rabble, don't run in my way. Campbell, always been the same devil. People come and go, Dwana, even Kevin knows I ain't afraid to be alone. Fana, Vugutwaliskanga, time is money, Pilak, Sizukala, Stress Dabalas, Spuni Saga, Yegubala. Ice on my neck, Sheshenga Fagi pressure, your yenza lemita. They're the rule I cannot measure. Chasing Panda Tesha, money calling ya presser, no time to wake ya shesh. Money in handy, Kesha.